Alright, time to begin. Let's delete the old shit. Should be done. Cool. It's too fucking hot in here, dude. What the hell? Okay. So we were at global variables and why you need to make them const. Because if you don't make them const, then any function anywhere that uses them, if it ends up changing them, you won't know where it's changed. I mean, maybe you would because if you use it here and then use it here, cool. But if you use it fucking everywhere, maybe it's hard to tell. I mean, it's just one thing that you have to figure out that's harder than just having a function change something that's local, because then that variable only exists in that function. But this variable exists everywhere, so makes sense. I think I've already had some issues like that in Unreal. Okay. Okay. Yeah, inspiration was too hard. I had to read a bunch of a freaking novel just because inspiration was kicking in. I needed some more. More drive, more material. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, because if we have a global variable, I have to go and find where it is to figure out what it's actually used for. Maybe if the name isn't specific enough. Yeah, I mean, I guess so, right? If we have a function or a global variable, fuck it, and we have x defined, well, where is this x used? I have to go and look for it because x doesn't tell me anything. So, uh, global mode. What if I have multiple global modes, or I just forget later on? I'm like, okay, global mode's at the top of this program. That's where it's defined, or maybe it's defined in a header file. Well, where the fuck is it used? The header file doesn't tell me. I mean, there should be a comment, but yeah, unless it's well documented, you might have to look through every use to find how it's used in different cases. Yep. Yep. Should say purpose, but I mean, this is fine, I guess. We can still say function without referring to a function. Yeah. Okay. So global variables should be things that are passed. Yeah, I was talking about phones and dates before. So maybe store date, current date in the global variable, and then maybe change it in like one spot, or maybe have some function that updates time. And what that function does is it goes to all these other places and updates them to be whatever the date is. And then we only have one function that is called upon whatever um, at 12:01 a.m. that updates the date, and then that calls all the other functions that update the date accordingly, and boom. Okay. Oh. Oh yeah, true, because global is outside of main, so main runs first, but static variables get initialized even before then. But that also includes static, so that could even be a static variable in main, could it? Why is this so high? Excuse me. Oh, oh wait. Oops. Okay, static is cool, and it seems like that's maybe initialized even before main. Stat. Static initialization. There's two parts. Global variables with const expression initializers are initialized to those values first. So that's the first, the const expressions, the guys that are needed at compile time. It's called constant initialization. Okay, so we get the constants, their values, or anything using a constant, its value. Specifically, well, with const expression initializer, so not necessarily a const expression variable, just a variable with a const expression initializer that's global. So global, like whatever, int x 0, and it's given 0 as the initializer. Without or 0 initialized. Okay, cool. So two different phases. Or well, there's the first phase, and this has its own two phases. Yep. 0 is a constant expression value. Okay, yep. Second phase is called dynamic initialization. Global variables with non-constant expression initializers are initialized. Huh. Oh, the function. Hmm. Oh, okay. So meaning a variable that is included in static initialization, but it depends on the variable with others. So global variables without initializers. So be careful not to have values dependent upon others that won't be initialized until later. Oh, okay. Meaning so one that is initialized in the beginning, dependent upon the initialization value of it. Oh, okay, okay. It's like if I need to use this global variable and all right, well, let's just see. All right, so we've initialized these guys. It's 0 and 5. Okay, so we're saying we're for declaring x and y. Those are defined in the same program. Or hold on. Yes, are defined in the same program. They're forward declared, and we know that because we don't have extern before them, so we know it's not some file that's somewhere else. Oh, we're saying that there's some integer. without an identifier. Oh. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, there's an integer, and it gets the return value of init x and init y. And then we initialize. What the fuck are we for declaring here? Oh. Oh. I was wondering what was happening, bro. I'm like, where's the identifier? This is just a regular for declaration. That's the return type. It has no fucking parameters. What was I doing? Yeah, so we're for declaring this. That way we can have global variables use these values before the functions. So global x, global y, both get the their initializers are the return values of these functions. And global x is initialized as itself? So it hasn't even been initialized yet. So that's called first. And then init y just gets 5. And then we output them. So this is initialized as whatever it already has. Oh. So different translation units. It might be this file than this file, or pieces of all the different files. I don't know. There's no way. Either could have. It sounds like okay. All either could have had its global variables initialized first. If some variable with static duration in A is initialized, or hold on, some variable with static duration in this is initialized with a static duration variable defined in B. Static duration meaning none. Static duration means it's a variable that's initialized upon definition or declaration, I guess, and destroyed upon the program's completion. So the global in one is initialized with the global in the other. So it could be B initialized first, and now A can depend on it. Or it could be that A is initialized first, but B hasn't been, so it just gets whatever the value would have been at B, so it hasn't even been initialized. Ambiguity in the order. Static initialization order fiasco. Dude, I'm done fasting. I didn't eat for lunch today. I felt like shit. I missed a super tiny meeting, not important at all, but I still did. It was super tiny, super short notice too, but I normally don't miss shit like that. Fucking dehydrated now. Like, but I have to cook to make sure that I have food in the morning or just bring something to work because I just feel like dog dick. Static initialization order fiasco. Okay. Two files initialized using his value or initialized using his value. Who's initialized first? Him? Good to go. Him? Good to go. Him? He's initialized as the value that depends on him? Well, he's first. Doesn't have a value to depend on, so it gets whatever garbage value he has. Same vice versa. Dynamically initializing a global variable? I don't even know how that would happen. Oh, meaning there's a global variable and it gets allocated memory? Hmm. I guess we could run a statement. Oh, but can't we only just define and declare shit outside? Can we actually run a statement? I don't know. Well, I guess so, huh? So the function, then we called a function, so. Huh. Seems like it'd be run. I have a statement that's just out there. God, I'm so fucking tired. So we would have upon the program start, we would be freeing or opening or assigning memory to a global variable. But maybe the things that allow you to dynamically allocate memory, excuse me, are somehow interacting with other initializing order things. Maybe the compiler isn't aware of its ability to even do that yet. I don't know. Dude, I want to fucking sleep. Oh my god. Just dead. I'm coming back to this when my fucking brain works. This is ridiculous.